They tried to take down the president. The deep state and the Democrat rats must have made a suicide pact. We came to you with an offer of peace, but you rejected it and took to the streets. Russian collusion, no one will buy. We read the memo and we know it's a lie. We know where you live, we know where you sleep. We're fully trained and we're on to the teeth. We saw you coming and we were ready. You can run, but you cannot hide. Cause we're coming for you now. You can run, but you cannot hide. Cause we're coming for you now. Deep state implosion overdrive. Cause we're coming for you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cause we're coming for you. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey everybody, welcome. This is HolyJoe Rock and Roll coming at you live and unscripted. As you can see from the title, Twitter suspended me again. And I wanted to give you the story because this is really hilarious. And it really points out the fact that Twitter is not a free speech platform. So I will be utilizing Gab AI pretty much from now on. I am at HolyJoe Rock on Gab AI. Let's just do a quick transition here. Yeah, I'm Gab AI. On Gab AI, gab.ai, I am still at HolyJoe Rock, same as Twitter. So Twitter suspended my account, as you can see here. I contested it. Now, in the past, I was suspended for a few hours, like 1 hour, 6 hours, 12 hours. Then last time I was suspended for, I think I was suspended for 12 days. And now, I don't know if this is a permanent suspension or not, because usually in the past it would say start when you appealed, and it would start the timer on whatever, on whatever you had. So what started this whole thing is that in my feed there was a homosexual who posted a fake story, a lying fake ass story, claiming that he was in a bar and he picked up a phone to call his husband, and some guy standing next to him said, "Are you calling your husband?" and then tried to swing at him, and that this guy, this homosexual, knocked the other guy out. Straight up knocked him the F out, as he wrote. Now, how do we know this is a lie is that the bartender was there, and he replied that he was the bartender, he was at the place, and that this homosexual actually started the kertuffle, and he explained what had happened, and it wasn't as the homosexual had described. Okay, so now I chimed in. Obviously, this bartender probably was a joke. Probably wasn't a real bartender. Who knows? Who cares? It was just funny because the bartender character, if you want to call it that, said, I'm trying to find it if I can get it. I don't know if they deleted their post. That's one thing that I'm noticing, that these LGBT people are extremely weak. They're extremely snowflake-ish, and they cannot handle any kind of criticism. They cannot handle anything. They are shameless people. They know that they're living in sin, and they become shameless. And so when you confront them on their sin, or if you just poke them, they become extremely hostile and extremely angry. And that's what we see. That's what we see here, with the pile-on from just a torrent of LGBT, and not only LGBT, but also a witch. Yeah, a witch. So, God, I guess I can't find. Anyway, I guess it's not important. Let me look at some of the pitter-patter back and forth, because it got really, really bizarre. And I tried to, let's see here. Where would it be? Notifications. I guess it would be notifications. So let's go to notifications. Okay. Okay, so here is the so here was my joke-ish tweet, is that I say, you lie. Now I'm talking to the homosexual who claims to be a Marine or a former Marine, and I say, okay, so let's read it. This guy Jeffrey, he says, well, I just got into my first bar fight with a Trump supporter. He took one swing at me and I TKO'd his ass. Knocked straight the F out. Bar owner said, good job. He was a-hole. Not only did he get his butt whipped, I'm paraphrasing there, but by a liberal and a homosexual too. He woke up after 5 minutes. Now, maybe we can find the bartender's comments here. Oh, wow. Is this all in here? You can see all these reported. Wow, a lot of anger coming from these homosexuals, man. So, I wish we could find the bartender thing. The bartender basically said this guy lied. What had happened was that this homosexual was putting his pecker in the drinks, and then putting the tip of his pecker in drinks, and then asking people to give him a tip, and he got knocked out, something like that. So I wrote here, as you can see, you lie about the bar fight. You are the fag who tried to suck me off in a foxhole in Iraq. Didn't I knock you the F out? Okay? What's wrong with that? What is wrong with that? Okay? And then, see, here you go. See his tweet unavailable. So this witch, there was a witch here who replied, and I said, you know, I said, why are you angry? For telling, oh, I'm going to report you. And I said, for what? For telling the truth? And I noticed all of you Trump haters with Trump derangement syndrome. This woman who said she was a nurse and a witch. So, yeah, you know, you have TDS, and this woman claims she was a nurse. I said, you're a nurse. Why haven't you seen a doctor about that? I think you should get a shot of, I think a shot of penicillin might help unless you're allergic. Let's see if we can see the trail here of tweets. Oh, no, that's for me to reply. Oh, I can't follow the trail. Yeah, so this was Autumn Wolf 45 is a witch. Claims to be a witch. Now, these are the replies, but why I can't see the replies? More. You know, and then, of course, here we go. People calling me crap or the S word. What else? And then a lot of projection, a lot of homosexual projection. You know, just, you know, claiming that I'm in the closet. Wow. See, look, here you go. Here's a typical homosexual response. Boy, you sure have a pretty mouth. And a lot of these homosexuals, they call each other, I guess, boys or boy, as I guess a put down, as an insult. Here's a woman who dehumanized me, called me all kinds of names. I said, hey, you just dehumanized me. So, I mean, should I report this woman? Of course, I didn't report anybody. Then she said, I dehumanize your hate for a fellow human. Now, what did I say that was hateful? If somebody tried to suck you off in a foxhole and you knocked them the fuck out, how was that hateful if you're just stating the facts? Okay? Right? So then you got all of these crazy ass, replies. Here's a little weak ass little weakling. You chose the easy way out. The real tough guy is going to the Marines. Because I was in the Navy. And this guy has no idea what he's talking about. I said, you have no idea what you're talking about. It's obvious you did not serve. This guy, Michael, whatever his name is, they're all homosexual. These guys are all, look, LGBT citizen and advocate. These guys are all homosexual, thinking there's going to be a blue wave. Look at these symbols. A gay flag and a blue wave. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So listen, if there's any of my followers happen to be gay, look, I don't have nothing, no ill will towards homosexuals. I just don't want to be forced to hear about your bullshit, your nonsense, your lifestyle. If you choose to live a certain way, I mean, that's really should be your business. It used to be, it was a private situation, a private business. And in fact, that's what all of you homosexuals, that was your claim to fame. Leave us alone, right? That's what you would say. Leave us alone. What happens to the privacy of our own bedroom we should be left alone. And you know what? This is the problem with being tolerant. When you're tolerant of people who are intolerant, what happens? We see what happens with LGBT people. When we tolerated LGBT behavior, this is called a gay behavior, okay? Basically, we tolerated. They took advantage of that tolerance, probably took that tolerance as weakness, and in some respects, maybe it was a weakness because various parts of the community did not fight back, which should have fought back. For example, the various churches. I only saw, to their credit, some Protestant churches pushing back on gay marriage. I didn't see any Catholic priests or Catholic. I didn't see the church come out. They basically just stayed out of it, right? And it may be because they corrupted themselves, or maybe felt like they corrupted themselves in the pedophile scandal, right? Because you could say they did not, the leadership certainly did not behave correctly when they were relocating priests to different parishes, knowing that they were pedophiles. So that's a major problem, and we acknowledge that. But did they beat up on the Catholic Church too much? I don't know. Compared to other groups, probably. Right, probably. Compared to the Muslim rape gangs, definitely, right? Because we're seeing that basically it took 30, 40 years before these Muslim rape gangs were brought to the surface by a guy named Tommy Robinson, right, who's now in jail for reporting on a trial, or one of the trials, of the Muslim rape gangs. One of the, 29 people? So, I'm pretty sure there's not going to be, this is probably, I should have caveated this, probably not safe for work. If you're at work, you probably should put headphones on, or perhaps watch later on. So, yeah, LGBT is madness. It's complete madness. All these people who, let's break it down, people. The gay community, you would say in large, are not religious. How are you going to be believing in God when you're gay and going against the logos, the natural order of things? Okay, you can't be. You aren't. That's number one. Number two, most of people who are therefore atheistic or non-God-fearing or non-believers tend to have science as their religion, okay? So if you believe in science, you believe in evolution. And if you believe in evolution, then you believe that people evolve. Now, obviously, homosexuals do not procreate, so the two components of evolution, natural selection and random mutation, would basically extinguish the homosexual gene if there was a biological component. Think about it. a small change in DNA over millions of years or hundreds of thousands of years, a small change which causes that gene to die off, to not be selected, right? If homosexuals are not having children because they're homosexual, then that gene, that genetic would simply die off. So if you believe in evolution, you certainly cannot believe that homosexuality is a born thing. Now, if it is a born thing, right, if you are born gay, that is a defect. So why wouldn't we be looking for a cure instead of promoting it, right? As so many people are doing, or so many people have been doing, is promoting homosexuality and whatnot. Let me just fix something real quick on this shot. Take that off, and put it, okay. Some music on it. Oh, hang on. There we go. Okay. So that's what I wanted with that lower bar up there. Yeah. Comment in the chat. Yeah, you know, listen, they fight for the rights, talking about this LGBT community. We have a right not to see them on the media. Let them keep their dysfunction in their homes. See, that was the original plan, right? If you're going to do something, do it in the privacy of your own home. No one should probably bother you, right? If you leave us alone, we'll leave you alone. But that's over now. So let me see if I can get that thing back up here. What happened to it? Safari. Okay, it's back up. Yeah. Yeah, so just a lot of, again, projection that, you know, that apparently that guy saying that I had it, some kind of foxhole fantasy, and that's when I said, you know, I wasn't in a foxhole, I was in the Navy, whatever. Really, truly disgusting behavior from this community, and they're like little rats. They all are basically anti-Trumpers. They all are infected with Trump derangement syndrome. And even some of them here, this guy from Poland, Bye Boy. What's with the Bye Boy, Kim? Miyakoda 1029. None of these people have kids. Look, they all have dogs and cats. Fighting the opioid crises, resisting the, looks like the orange clown daily. I want my country back. He's from nowhere, USA. Oh, so amazing. So strong, little Kim. So strong. Yeah, so apparently, and I wasn't able to respond to this because when I saw this morning, because I crashed around 3:30 in the morning, 3:30 a.m. Here's Barbara, just reported him, and look, is she sucking on the glass dick? What is this, Barbara? What are you doing? It looked like she was sucking on the glass dick, but I guess she's just drinking from a glass. But the reflection, I'm trying to move this over. The reflection on that thing, it looks like there's a tube going into her nose, but apparently it's the reflection of a glass. Now again, follow the resistance all the way until we get it done. 100, love, impeach the dotard. Dotard is, I guess, is that the left-wing naming convention for our president? The real Donald Trump? Insanity, people. Insanity. And so basically you can see, you know, I've had some troubles with Twitter in the past, and it was always something you know, what I would consider completely obtuse, completely nonsensical, and my account would be suspended. And all you have to do really is claim that you're a homosexual and claim that you're offended by somebody's tweet to try to get them suspended. So, you know, there really, as I said, there is no free speech on Twitter. Definitely no free speech on Twitter. And, you know, the only thing we can do is use other platforms. So, I mean, obviously, if I get my account restored, it'll probably continue to be used, but I'll be moving over to Gab AI. Poland has escaped the colonization of the LGBT community, and some scholars have claimed that if, you know, when a country legalizes gay marriage, you become a colony of the globalists, you become a colony of the oligarchs, okay, because they are using sexual liberation and homosexuality as a form of control. Think about it, right? If you are homosexual, you are not going to have children, you are not going to have a family, you will not have a vested interest in the future, and at the same by the same token, you lose all moral credibility or the ability to be morally outraged because you are not a moral person. So how are you going to expect a pay raise when it would be the moral human thing to do when here you are behaving in a way that is not a moral or human behavior, right? I mean, if you kind of think about it. Look, I'm not trying to cast moral judgment on you. Yes, I am. Actually, yes, I am. But that's not the point. The point is, I don't have to accept that behavior, right? What you do in the privacy of your own home, if no one sees it, what can happen? What can, you know, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, doesn't make a sound, right? That's the whole point. So if something happens in the closet, then truly that is between you and it should be a consenting adult, okay? If it's not a consenting adult, of course, that's a crime. And if you're doing it in public, it used to be a crime. So this is the state that we live in. This is the day and age that we're living in. I'm gonna turn off monetization on this video because I'm sure it's going to be demonetized, and I don't need to have to deal with that hassle of having it taken down because of its monetization. So if you support this channel, please hit me up at holyjoe.bandcamp.com, where you can support me by buying some of my music. You can also go to Patreon. There's links down below where you can help support this channel, keep it going. What else? We got to start coming up with our own stuff, our own platforms. I noticed that at my web hosting company that I host with, I could post unlimited amount of video if it's my own content, right? I would not be able to set up my own competitive YouTube channel, right? Even though they say the storage is unlimited in the account that I have. So that's an alternative to post videos there directly, but I've got everything backed up. It's not been a problem so far on this channel with the videos, but the main point, of course, is that these people are weak. You see how they are weak? They are snowflakes. They are completely weak. And at least from the pictures of these people who were reporting me, you know, one woman was a completely old woman. Nothing wrong with ageism. We're all getting old, right? But probably she was, at least the picture was probably when she was 65-ish. And, you know, on the bottom it said pro-love, and then all this homosexual stuff, right? Pro-love, this. So she said, I'm reporting you. And I responded, you're pro-love, but are you pro-life? See what I'm saying? This is the dichotomy that we're dealing with. People that are so narcissistic and into themselves that they are unable to fathom or understand that what they're doing is an abomination. I mean, as simple as that. As simple as that. That's not me saying that. That is just evolution saying that, right? The survival of the species is not possible if you're an LGBT person, right? If you're trans and you're taking chemicals, you sterilize yourself. If you're homosexual, you are having sterile sex. That does not procreate, okay? End of story. It's the end of the line. So on the flip side of that, people who tend to be more religious, tend to have more children. Of course, that's good and bad, right? But it does mean that, yes, maybe Muslims are having more children, the ones that are supposed to be more religious. But also, we're finding that Christians are having more children, and Mormons are having a lot more children. Now, are they Christian? Are they in a cult? I mean, the Book of Mormon is obviously a fiction, but they call themselves Christians even though they have this layer of Mormonism on top of God's Word, right? So, whatever. But look, what you can say is that at least their public persona, and I'm obviously not all Mormons, but the Mormons that I have worked with, the Mormons that I have dealt with, have been on the surface publicly, right, and just outwardly extremely Christian-like, right? And I know that, for the most part, I mean, at least historically, I don't know if it's still true, but for instance, the casinos in Las Vegas were always hiring a lot of Mormons because they didn't drink alcohol, so there wasn't a problem with that. They didn't steal, so there wasn't a problem with that. They didn't fornicate, so there was not a problem with that. They were really good workers. They're clean-cut, honest, hardworking people, and they were welcomed into that, business as worker bees and whatnot. And again, they do keep together. They do protect themselves, like in a clique, just like the Jews do, and maybe like some smaller Protestant denominations do. Unfortunately, some Catholics do, but I don't see that as often, as much. The strength of that, you know what I mean? I don't see that as much among Catholics. You know what I mean? Catholics tend to be just very tolerant, for the most part, right? So that's maybe a place where we could improve, right? Help each other out, right? So that we as a community become stronger and continue to grow. But these LGBT people they're helping each other out, but they're extremely weak, extremely fragile, so fragile. Just a little tweet. I had probably 30 or 40 tweets coming back at me, and I responded to most of them as humorously as possible, and I've been suspended on Twitter as a result. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. This has been Holy Joe Rock and Roll, coming at you live and unscripted, reminding you to always make it happen for the captain, because you're the mother effing captain. Seriously. Seriously? They tried to take down the president, the deep state and the Democrat rats must have made a suicide pact.